Herzlichen Glückwunsch alle. Hier, unsere Sendung kommt aus Pennsylvania schon wieder heute. Wir haben bei uns unsere Familie, die Stolze Familie aus Südafrika. Die Familie, die sind Flüchtlinge, die sind aus Südafrika geflohen. Hey folks, welcome back to the program. We have the Stolze family with us today. They are recent arrivals from South Africa, a refugee family who just came and have an interesting story to tell, to say the very least. And we're going to get into that. So guys, Merry Christmas and welcome to the program.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, we're happy to be here.
Well, I'm happy to have you on. We want to dispel a whole bunch of myths and lies about what's happening in South Africa with the refugee program, and I think this is an ideal way to do it. First, I want to thank you guys for coming on camera and all your kids back there. Can you tell us who the kids are from the back so the audience knows?
Sure. This is WJ. That's Ella and Emma.
Well, hello, WJ, Ella, and Emma. Thanks for joining us, guys. Look, WJ's all excited, man. He's got a serious wave going on there. Going to try to steal the show from the girls. All right, guys. Well, you are recent arrivals from South Africa, and you're down in the Gamecock State now in South Carolina, correct?
Yeah, we're in South Carolina.
Okay.
Very happy.
You're very happy.
Yes.
Okay. Well, it sounds like it. Okay. So when did you first hear about the refugee program?
It was one of your podcasts. I think it was February, and then we started. Well, that's when I started listening to you. And end of March, we emailed the embassy, and then
in May we did the online application, and then the first time we heard back was on the 4th of August via email. That they provided your ID. It's not South African ID number. It's a row ID and then a code. So every time when they make contact with you, you have to mention your code so that they know they're speaking to the correct person. And then we didn't hear anything again. And then on the 1st of September, we received a telephone call that we must keep an eye on our emails because they'll send an email shortly to arrange for our first online interview or Teams interview. And then we heard nothing till the 23rd of September. And then 23rd, we had our online interview with the whole family. And then the afternoon of the 23rd, we received the email that we have a sit-down formal interview in Pretoria on the 25th of September. 25th of September, we went for the interview. That was the first interview. Then our next interview was the following week. Medicals the following week. And then we heard nothing. And then 5 December, we received a phone call.
So we got an email.
We got an email. Sorry, not a phone call. We received the email that we'll be departing on the 8th of December. So we only had 3 days to prepare for our departure, but at least on the 25th, when we had our first interview, we did tell my parents and our close family, immediate family, and then we informed our landlord. We were in the process of procuring the property, but they struggled to get house plans, which obviously God had a greater plan, that they didn't get the building plans basically for the property. So we informed the landlord as well that if this phone call or email or we get approved, we can leave in anything between 3 days to 2 weeks. And we basically had 3 days before departure.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. Quite a short turnaround there, just 3 days. But you had time. You knew you were interested in the program to start disposing of things. But Werner, you guys are not exactly like a lot of South Africans that come over. I mean, a lot of South Africans are kind of anonymous. People don't know who they are. You know, they're from Mpumalanga, or they're from Northwest, or they're somewhere in the Eastern Cape, and maybe they live on a farm, maybe they live in town. But actually, you have a prominent business in South Africa that's kind of well known, or am I mistaken?
Yeah, we were. We started WS Canada as our brand. We started in 2015, me and my wife. But before that, it was Stolze, which my dad and my grandfather, when they immigrated from Germany in 1953, that's when they started. And before that, we still have our piano factory in Germany, which is still being used today. But I was born in South Africa, and we built and we blessed a lot of musicians and artists and theaters and everything, where we provided them with pianos and serviced and repaired them, and we did, and also a lot of music videos. Our brand was also on a lot of music videos.
Well, in fact, the Stolze brand goes back quite a ways. It goes back to 19th century in Germany, if I'm not mistaken. And there's kind of a tangential link that we have there, a very, very tenuous link. But in fact, my third great-grandfather worked at the Knabe piano factory, Heinrich Wöhler, in Baltimore, which was a famous factory, huge building. Yeah. And they made pianos that went all the way to the Knabe brand. Of course, we know Wurlitzer, that's still around today. But the Knabe piano factory was amazing. He produced pianos back then, and your ancestors started a piano factory back in Germany. I think it was in Eisenach, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe I'm wrong about that. You can correct me. And then later, in your youth, you actually worked on some Knabe pianos, did you not?
Yes, yeah, I repaired them, a few of them rebuilt, tuned, because there are a few of them in South Africa.
Yeah, and we purchased some of them and then resold. So restored and then resold. So it's incredible with the amount of different pianos. People usually say, "Oh, I have a piano. What's the value?" I have a car. What's the value?
So many
more information to be able to get that.
Well, it's the same with me with the news. People are like, I heard this happen. Okay, where did you hear it? That doesn't really help me that you heard something happen. Anyway, so, all right, well, let's look, guys. I mean, we're going to have to unpack a few things. You guys are willing to come on. We need to talk about them just because we need to talk. This program from the outset, when President Trump announced it on the 7th of February, 2 hours later, I was doing a live stream. I did it for 3 hours and 38 minutes. Then I went on a Gareth Cliff show. Then I came back and did another one till 5 o'clock in the morning. I was knackered. But from the very beginning, I said that the program, President Trump announced it was because of what was happening in Afrikaners. But I said I would hope that would extend to ethnic minorities. I meant racial minorities by that, and those affected by the laws in South Africa. On Monday the 10th, the embassy posted a website that it included racial minorities. And ever since then, that's been the case. I've been telling people endlessly that not just Afrikaners, and certainly not just farmers, because a small percentage of people come over actually farmers, but not just Afrikaners and farmers, but also other white South Africans, English-speaking in particular. But in addition to that, there have been coloreds and Indians who come over, and even a few black South Africans in interracial marriages and who have offspring, that sort of thing. Now, you guys of coming over, kind of breaking the bank here. The fake media in South Africa have to acknowledge that your children have a little better tan than I do. Emma and Ella have much better tan than I've got. I'm just saying they're doing better than me.
Yes.
Don't forget to use sunscreen.
Yeah. No, I need lots of sunscreen, man. I bake like a lobster pretty quickly in the sun. The sun doesn't like me. That's why the deserts are not my friend. But okay, so these are your kids. You got 3 kids here. Can you tell us, do you mind sharing a little bit about the story? Obviously, you've adopted the girls. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, so I will do. We struggled for about 10 years to fall pregnant, and my wife is adopted as well. And we then decided, okay, and my wife wanted twins. So we went to go and have a look at babies. Just actually sounds very horrible, but it's an option, as you can see. And we saw Emma and Ella, and so Ella just looked at me and she started to smile. She was 5 months old. And we just knew, no, we have to, this is our kids. So we went through the process. When they were 7 months old, we signed that we were their parents. Adoption. And then we found out we were 4.5 months pregnant already. So you must imagine 3 babies under 3. That's not a joke.
Too many nappies. Too many nappies.
No, it's next level. But I learned, I put a clothing peg that when you hang your clothes outside, those wooden pegs, a laundry peg. I put it on my nose, so every time I did a nappy. So if you can't smell it, it doesn't hurt you that bad. It works.
All right. I think we might have too much information there. We might be embarrassing kids. Look at WJ, man. He's like, oh, I can't believe they're saying this. Hello. She's like, her mouth gapped when you talk about when she smiled there. So, but look, wow, that's quite a handful there. You took on quite a lot, 3 kids at once. And look, I get what you're saying because I have many friends who've adopted who weren't able to conceive, and it's kind of a weird thing when you go through it. I mean, you don't want to sound like you're shopping for a Land Cruiser. That's not what you're doing. But you are going and you're selecting kids that will become part of your family, and it's obvious these kids are clearly part of the family. So the nappy stage is long over, thank goodness. I'm glad you're all happy about that, including the kids.
Yes.
But let me ask this question: Do you know? I mean, the girls, their ethnic origin, are they familiar with that? Will they know that heritage?
We speak about it, of course, but they don't know their biological parents at all. And we are their parents. Yeah, they were originally Venda, and we did try and learn some of the language. And thanks to AI, we are achieving much more than what we thought we could. And we're trying to teach them. They know that they're from South Africa. They know where they were born. And all that's important right now is that we have a future without burglar bars.
Yes.
What's burglar bars?
Exactly.
Well, that's actually what we should get into now. Let's talk about that. No, I just asked the question because, I mean, it's important for folks to have an opportunity to know where they come from. Not that it makes up who they are, but it certainly has an impact, particularly later in life, especially when you look at health issues and things like that. So when they become adults, it might be something they want to pursue and figure out through DNA or something like that. But you mentioned burglar bars. It sounds like you had some security concerns when you're in South Africa.
Yes, alarms, cameras, double burglar bars, interior gates within the house as well, security gates, cameras, and then you hope that you don't have load shedding, because if there's load shedding, the alarm is off, the cameras is off. And what was incredible is always we pray for our safety, make sure that we are safe. And every night prayed with the kids for our safety. And on day 4 here in America, so I will never forget, on the 12th of December, we sat down to pray with the children. We were still then in the hotel room. And our kids didn't ask for any safety or pray for safety. They asked, what should we pray for? We can say thank you for everything, but what do we need protection from? And that was incredible. It's emotional to know that your kids feel safe for the first time ever.
Well, probably the biggest danger going forward is going to be fizzy drinks and too many carbohydrates. You got to watch out with the kids.
Yeah, especially with WJ. He likes Dr. Pepper.
Oh, does he now? He likes Dr. Pepper. He likes those fizzy drinks. What about the girls? Are they into fizzy drinks?
Dr. Pepper as well, and
Ella just does juice, but they won't be allowed to do that the whole time. Dad allowed them to try it since we've been here. In South Africa, we didn't really drink fizzy drinks. So they tried it, but it's done now. Done.
Yes.
Mommy says no. But the biggest thing is we were told by other people, you shouldn't waste time to apply for the program because you have Black children and you won't be allowed into the program. And because Vanna has an EU passport, you won't be allowed in the program. And it made us very negative. But because of what you said, that everyone will be given a fair opportunity. It's case by case. It's analyzed case by case. There is obvious guidelines, and we applied and we had faith. And every time when the case came forward, it's obvious we have adopted children. But the one thing that you don't see is that Vanna has an EU passport, and the twins was declined an EU passport due to the EU regulations, what the rules are with adoption. And we informed, obviously, in all our interviews, we brought it up, and even with Homeland. And they wanted to justify, we had to explain, why can't we go and live in Europe? Now, if Van has the EU, Via has it, or WJ, if we go there, we have to, myself and the twins can go on spousal visas, but every few months or years, depending on where you are in the process, we have to leave the country, go back to our home country for 3 months or so, and then go back. And that defeats the purpose. I mean, why would just the girls go back to South Africa by themselves? And we used, with the guideline, you had all the questions and stuff prepared, which really helped us to prepare better. And also we used Professor G's book to prepare. We read it, went through everything. And with that, we could provide facts, and it helped us. It helped us a lot. And also some of Professor G's stuff, factual, and then obviously Ronaldo. Every time you see me,
Don't even know people say.
With
that song is so annoying, it doesn't go out of your head, but it's also if we walk in public and if there's any South Africans around and we say, "Oh, where my bicycle," then someone else just starts the song for you. It's so funny.
Yeah, anyway. It's definitely caught on. Ronaldo got permission to use that a few years ago, I remember, because I like that. I want to use it, but it's Ronaldo's thing, so I don't intrude on that. So let me get a couple things straight here very quickly. Okay, first off, a couple of the myths, and this is what I told people from the outset at the very beginning, and you guys listened to me. You got discouraged, but you did listen to me, if I heard you correctly. Number one, the fact that your husband has a golden parachute. He has a passport that lets him escape South Africa, and people said, well, you can't apply for the program. What I've told people is it was unclear initially, but then shortly after I said what I believe the case will be is that if you have an adult applicant in the family who's eligible, we don't break families up, we'll bring you over. Now, what reinforces, guys, the Stolze family, is that not only was that true, but you also have children who are different ethnicity than you. You have black children, and the lie that only white farmers are coming over here is proof in this. That's a lie. You guys aren't farmers, and you have a blended family, and you have a family member with a safe passport, but the rest of you couldn't get one. And therefore, under your case, Naomi, this is why you guys were able to come over, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
So I think we've just dispelled all the fake news right there. All right, now let's get that. We've done that. And also, so you guys watch my channel. Thank you so much. You watch Professor G. That's okay. We'll let that pass. But you watch Ronaldo. That's unforgivable. We can't let that pass.
And we obviously listen to Steve Wolfman as well.
It's Monday
shows.
Yeah, Steve's a good guy. He's a friend of mine. We hang out quite a bit. Okay, so can we talk to the kids? People want to hear from the kids. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, let me start. WJ's too excited. I'm going to start with Ella. Ella, you're in America now. Oh, she's like, surprise. You're in America now. Anything new? Anything exciting? Is it different than being in South Africa?
Is it different here in America than in South Africa?
Yes.
Why?
It's safer then?
And you can play until when it's dark.
Yes.
Yeah, but you have to say that too.
You must speak louder.
It's safer because we can play in the dark longer.
And you can ride your bicycle on the street.
And we can ride our bicycles in the streets.
Yes.
And in the shops, are you tied against us with leashes?
No, not anymore.
Do you like the shops?
Yes.
Okay. All right. She's kind of shy, I can see. Let's ask her sister. And what do you like about America? What's it different for you?
It's very easier in America.
Uh-huh.
And we enjoy it here.
All right. So were you excited to come over? Was it your first time flying on a plane?
No.
Oh, you flew before. Okay. All right. But you've never flown that long, have you? That's a very long flight.
No.
Did you get tired? Did you get tired on the flight?
Yes.
Yeah, I get tired. Okay, I can see this is going to be fantastic. We have to milk the answers out of the kids. They're a little shy. WJ doesn't look quite so shy. Okay, what's it like for you in America, WJ?
And it's very fun, and we can play until dark, and it's very safe.
Okay, all right, but you guys haven't started school yet, have you?
Nope.
Okay. Will
Yeah.
will you start in January?
Yes.
Yes, we got the book.
All right. So are you excited? Are you guys excited about school or what?
Yeah. Yes, we are excited about.
We are excited.
What's that?
We are excited.
About school, and we want to play baseball.
Baseball.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a pretty quick conversion. So you're going to drop cricket and go right to baseball. I love it. But I don't know if the girls are interested in it or if WJ is, but we need quality rugby players over here too. So if you want to remember rugby, then we could use you on the national sides. Oh, look at mom's like, nope.
Nope. If they soccer.
They
Soccer.
can swim.
That's not even a real game, soccer. Come on. Yellow card. He touched me. He breathed on me. Yellow card.
I know.
All right, guys. Yeah, so can you pull the camera back just a little bit, Naomi, because you can only see part of your face there. Yeah, there you go. Okay, there you go. That's better, guys. Okay, so the kids are a little shy here, a little nervous. That's fine. They're on camera. It's probably their first time doing this. But, okay, let's talk, Venner, a little bit about the family history, if that's okay, before we come back to the topic at hand. So your family, if I went and looked at the website and from Stolze, and I saw that 19th century got into piano making and kind of a famous venture. And was it your grandfather that went to Eisenach for training in the 50s? Or your father?
Yeah, my father went in 1957. He flew back from South Africa to Germany on Trek Airways. It took him 4 days, 3 nights to fly back to Germany. And he did his training. And then 1960, 6 months before the Berlin Wall went up, he escaped out of Germany, coming back to South Africa. And then with my grandfather, they started Stolze Music and in Pretoria. And we were in Schoeman Street. We had a music shop there. And up to 1990, I think. Then after that, we went smaller and just concentrated on pianos and grand pianos. Where my great-grandfather, who started our factory in 1919 in Eisenberg in Thüringen, they still went on, and my grandmother's sister's son is the new owner of the factory in Germany.
Well, your family sounds kind of like the Swarovski family with different branches in Brazil and Austria and Germany. In your case, South Africa, Germany, now America, different branches of the family all over the place. Yes. But instead of crystal, you're into pianos. So, okay, let me just address this topic because when this was first announced, we had some extreme right South African Afrikaners and Boers claim that only toothless, uneducated, lazy, shiftless, useless Afrikaners would ever go over to America. Very insulting, condescending comments we heard from a few people early on. Now, it didn't continue, but it started. I told people from the outset that this program will have a couple of impacts. Number one, it's going to break families up because some people want to go and other family members won't go. That's going to be a problem. I also said that there will be poor people who have no means, and there will be wealthy people. I know a few dollar millionaires in South Africa and multimillionaires who want to come over in this program. So, look, I mean, I don't mean to talk about the gauche topic of wealth, but you're obviously not folks who are starving from Sasa Grant to Sasa Grant. You have means, but nonetheless, you came over. You didn't come for economic reasons. You came for, you're concerned about the lives of your children and their opportunity, or did I get that wrong?
Yeah, the main reason why we did this is because of our children and also what happened with Naomi. And it's just the fear. And it's not nice when you go out to a mall or go anywhere with your child and you have to hold their hand the whole time, or we had them on leashes. It sounds horrible. It sounds horrible. It's like having a dog on a leash, but that's the only way that was safe. And because they tried to steal Via or WJ when he was a few months old in a mall. So you've got that whole fear of every time when you go out, and the rest of the time you spend actually time in the house. You can't go out in the garden, go to the front because people are driving like maniacs there as well, and also security wise, yeah. It's just
We stayed in a very nice neighborhood. We really did. We didn't stay in a security village, but everyone in our street was wonderful people, but everyone in the street contributed for additional street cameras, security monitoring that monitors the street and keep us informed of what's going on. And here, the kids just walk. We just walk around. I mean, my biggest fear right now is that if my children go to the shop, that they don't underpay for something. If they go on their self-checkout lines, which...
Well, they put too much toys on their baskets.
Things like that. I mean, and here, most people told us, you won't be able to afford... Yes, we are not as well off right now at all. We will work hard to get where we were. But we've been visiting miracle shops, Salvation Army shops, Goodwill, those places, and found pretty decent items, table, chairs, things like that. The refugee program does provide quite a bit.
And which is awesome.
Which is incredible.
Yeah.
We received beds, new mattresses, the necessities, not what you want, but what you need to be able to continue. And then certain areas, we are in what Americans describe as rural areas, is for us just a normal town. So we are placed in a rural area, meaning we have electricity, we have water, we have our house, but you will need a vehicle to move around. You can't there's not public buses in the area. So it was quite strange when they told us, listen, you're going to a rural area. And we were like, South African rural? That sounds hectic. And then when we got here, it's like, no, okay, that's not at all that. And then we went around shopping for vehicles.
Yeah, that was
the only time in America where it was not a nice experience. The people that we procured the vehicle from, we were warned about. And also, Mornay, I think is his name, warned that they will try and take advantage of you. And we were just so fed up. We walked about 12 and a half miles that day looking for vehicles, and everywhere we went, it's like, you don't have a social, you don't have an income. So there was the whole time reasons why we couldn't procure a vehicle. And then we get to this one guy, Little Boys Toys, which I can tell you, I'm going to write the most difficult review for him on Google. I am so angry. But anyway, and then he ended up selling us a Ford Focus sedan for $8,000. A 2016 for $8,000. And when we left his property, we got pulled over by the police because the front lights was too dim. There were so many issues. Anyway, but the police didn't give us a ticket. Very nice. Warned us, told us we can't drive at night because of the lights. We have to get it fixed. It was going on, but it wasn't bright enough to be able to drive on a motorway. And then when we went back to the guy, he was just a prick. He was horribly rude. And then he said, fine, you'll buy back the vehicle for $2,300. In less than 24 hours, he wanted to pay less than quarter. Oh my word. And then we tried to not argue, but diplomatically having a discussion. And he just said, well, what are you going to do about it? You're not American. And I'm like, I might not be American. I can't vote, but I have rights. I am a human. And yes, then we found another car dealership that was incredible. They helped to sort out because the one that we procured from that guy didn't get a tag. All of us must be better informed on.
He didn't.
We have to go.
Sorry to interrupt. So you left the lot without a tag. He didn't give you a temporary tag.
He gave a temporary tag, but it's a dealer plate, so he never.
Oh no,
proceeded.
yeah, that's not a temporary tag. A temporary tag is usually cardboard or paper that's good for 30 days till you get your registration. So yeah, you got hoodwinked and shystered there by a disreputable person. I'm sorry to hear that. That's unfortunate. That's something that people need to be aware of. There are crooks all over the place. It's not just the people who promise to put you on the refugee list if you just send them money and they're an Afrikaner. How they would ever have access to the list, who would know? But remember that scam that was going on. No, it's that's unfortunate. Look, unfortunately for everyone that comes to America now, the COVID scam pushed up the prices of used cars or previously owned automobiles, as I like to call them, previously owned automobiles. Used cars are very expensive, much more expensive than they used to be. It's difficult to find a good bargain. There are CarMax is a place you can get a used car that's usually pretty good. That's a national chain. It's reputable. And so that's just so people listening. It's not just for you guys. Were you able to get that car back to that shyster, or did you get stuck with that?
No, the 10K motor vehicle company procured the vehicle from us, or did a trade-in on a different vehicle that was more reliable. We did pay in, but at least that was a successful trade-in, and we're very happy.
Okay,
and
so
they went out of their way to help us.
Well, that's really good to hear that you went into a good car dealership. The problem with car dealerships is oftentimes you get people that don't listen. I remember I tried to buy a new car in 1989, and I wanted a Honda, but we went and looked at other brands just to make sure that we weren't. I wasn't going to look at other brands, so I wasn't just locked in on one brand. Mm-hmm. And I went to a GM dealer, and he kept trying to push this car on me. I'm like, I don't want a sports car. I don't want a sports car. I just want a sedan. I don't need a sports car. And he just wouldn't listen. So you do have options, though, and this is for everyone listening. If you're in a state and you don't get good service from a business, or they cheat you, or you feel you're cheated, you can go to the Better Business Bureau and contact them and report them. You also have the opportunity to contact the state's attorney general. There's an attorney general in South Carolina, and I encourage you, if you felt you were cheated, to report that business so they don't get away with that. Also, and it's just human nature. If you go to Liberia and you're a white guy, they're going to try to take advantage of you. If you go to South Carolina and you're a foreigner, locals who are just not reputable are going to try to take advantage of you. It's the nature of humans. Some people just try to always cheat other people. But it looks like you came out on the other side okay, despite spending some money. So you've got a reliable car now.
Yes.
We did, most definitely. A nice and high, but Van and I'm quite tall. So it's important that we have a bit higher car. Sports car won't work for us.
No, because you can't drive in.
We can't get in or out.
Yeah, that doesn't work for us.
So we like the SUVs, and I must say the lights, it's amazing. And any South Africans that come over with family immediately go to the library. What the libraries do here is wonderful. And if you have children under the age of 15, go to the children's museums. It's interactive. It's really wonderful. But library, everything you need. And then for women, there's amazing support groups. And they're just there. There's a South African support group here. And they actually we reached out and said that we were accepted into the program, and they reached out and added us just verbal support. There's other families that needed groceries or that whatever they needed, and they tried to assist, and they really do. And especially with what happened to our family, I need verbal support. I need someone's ear to listen. And anyone who comes over South Africa, Canada, if you come on a refugee program, if you come on, there's quite a few visas, but literally any South African that comes over must definitely make contact with them. Absolutely. So they'll have a gentleman's group as well.
So I want to talk a little bit about where you're at and what it's like there. But before I do that, I want to ask the kids a couple questions so they're not just left there and bored for the whole time. But I do want to come back to the topic if you want to discuss it, because Vanna has mentioned what happened to you and you've kind of alluded to it. I don't know if you want to discuss that in this forum. We don't have to, but if it's something you can discuss, we can talk about that. But because I don't know the nature of it. If it's not,
I'll just get the kids.
So we'll hold off on that, okay? But let's talk to the kids now. Okay, kids. All right, guys, Ella, Emma, and WJ, let me ask you a question. Have you had any American food yet? And if so, What do you like and what don't you like?
Okay,
What-
talk about American food.
You liked what was that burger place?
Whataburger.
Yeah, he's Five Guys. Yeah, he went to Five Guys and he loved their burgers. WJ is a huge waffle person, so anything with flapjacks and waffles, you eat that. Ella tried, I think, every chain, all their chicken nuggets. She loves chicken nuggets.
Yeah, what?
You must say what you like.
It's a pasta.
Pasta as well. Sushi. She's also a big sushi person. Yeah, we must just. One thing I have to explain as well is Emma's got autism, so every now and again she processes everything differently. So yeah, Naomi just quickly went with her just to talk to her. But yeah, but the yeah. He's a burger and waffle.
So he's had Five Guys and Whataburger. Which does he like better, Whataburger or Five Guys? Because I love Five Guys.
Five Guys.
Yeah, hands
I
down.
want him to say it, but he's still shy.
Yeah. What's that, WJ?
I love Five Guys.
Yeah, take a number, buddy. So do I. But Ella likes sushi. That's interesting.
Yes. She say how much sushi.
What?
You must say what you like. You love sushi.
Yes, I do love sushi and pasta and other food like that.
Pasta and other things, yeah.
Okay.
She's a very quiet person.
I see that. She looks very quiet, very studious, and very reserved.
But you mustn't underestimate her. She was Texas under-9 cricket team. She was the captain. WJ also played for under-9 Tux cricket. But she's a very good cricket player. She hits quite a few fours, and she's a very good, has a good strike rate and a bowler. WJ is the wicket. Yeah.
Well, you know, we do. I think most people don't realize this, but America does have national cricket teams. They're not very highly ranked, but we do. They're probably like 89th in the world, but we do have national cricket teams. Maybe if your kids grow up, maybe we'll move up in the standings there in cricket. I'm worried about rugby, but maybe we'll do better in cricket. So, Ella, I'm sorry, Ella,
is good, but yeah.
Ella, you were the captain of your team.
Yes.
She
So-
was the only girl in our
Yeah,
team.
and she was also the only girl playing on an all-boys team.
Oh wow, and an all boys team. Wow, but you were the captain. So, what are you best at in cricket? Are you good at the batsman, or are you a bowler? What do you do?
But
But what are you best, bowling or batting?
I love more batting than bowling.
Okay, she loves
Yeah.
batting more than bowling. Okay, all right,
Yeah.
cool beans. All right, well that's awesome. That's great to hear. I think a lot of folks are really excited to see your family and hear about your experience. So let me ask this question. Hey, WJ, what's been crazy or frustrating so far? I mean, you've come from South Africa. You make this long trip to America. Has anything been frustrating so far, or something that maybe you didn't like?
And I didn't like, and I liked well everything.
Isn't there something you didn't like?
No.
What about when you saw the eagle, the deer, the airport?
Yeah, he likes everything. I don't.
Well, he likes everything, but I'm sure off camera it'd probably be something he's got to complain about. Kids always have something to complain about.
Well, what they've been complaining about is that we have the cold here, but there's no snow. And they were promised in America we get a white Christmas.
Okay, so let me explain
and in the
something.
wrong state for that.
All right, Ella, WJ, you guys listening? It's not cold there. That's not cold.
That's not cold. Yesterday was hot.
It's they're looking outside now. It's 32 degrees Fahrenheit right now, which is 0 Celsius here. Okay. Yeah, 0, and I'm wearing shorts. No, kortbrekker. Yeah. No, it's no. I know it's cold for South Africans to get adjusted to it, but unfortunately, you're not going to see snow in South Carolina. If you go up into the mountains in North Carolina, a little further to the west, you will see some snow in the wintertime. But where you're at, it's too low in elevation. It's not something you're going to see. Now, if you were up in Pennsylvania, although your parents said something about driving up here, and I was like, gosh, no, that's a long drive. But if you guys came up here, you'd see some snow up here eventually.
Yeah.
We see in South Africa, you're used to driving. So to drive for a whole day or 2 days, it's nothing for us. And it's a lot of sightseeing, so you can see a lot, and especially with small towns and nice buildings. And your churches. It's like in South Africa, you get all those NG churches, the Afrikaans
Dutch Reformed.
Yes. So over here, you've got all these beautiful Baptist church buildings, almost the same as South Africa. Yeah, it's just beautiful.
So, guys, I'm going to make this offer on air. I mean, it's much harder for you. You don't have to respond to it. You can tell me off air if it's something you want to do. If you're interested, if you want to make a road trip and come up, I'm willing to meet you guys in northern part of Maryland and show you where my ancestors used to live in the farms and such, and show you around. There's a nice chocolate shop in Frederick the kids might like. Yeah. And then come up and show you Gettysburg and take you around the battlefield and show you if you want to come up. And we can do that anytime you like, except on a Wednesday, because I've got the radio program Wednesdays nights. But if you guys want to come up here after New Year's or next week or something like that, I'm not putting you in a spot, but it would be amazing to sit down. We could even do a live broadcast off my phone with the kids and with you guys, and they can talk about it. And you can see a little bit of American. And as a historian and also someone from Maryland and from this area, I could just show you, and you get a much deeper feel for things. And who knows, maybe you might even see some snow when you come up. You never know.
That would be awesome. Okay. Yes, we'll definitely take you up on that offer.
All right, that sounds like a plan. What does the audience think? Can we get some feedback in the audience there for those who are watching? All right, so did you guys have to just abandon everything because you had 3 days, or are you able to retain some of the South Africa that's still yours, or what's? I mean, if you don't want to get into it, that's fine. I mean, I'm not trying to get in your business, but I think people need to understand, especially in your case where you're like 3 days you're leaving. What did you do?
Well, I've got to let you.
We let the business go over to other people that's in the industry as well, who is very honest and great at what they do. So he's continuing with the business, but under his own name, not under WS Pianos that we had there. And then our house was left behind, and then we still had the property that we leased that we were in the process of procuring as well. And that was also just left behind. And our vehicles, one vehicle was sold to We Buy Cars, but a while ago already. And the rest of the vehicles just left behind. Nothing, no money gained at all through that. So yes, it was a difficult process because there's a lot of money put away for that, but we had to make the decision for our family and for our children and for our future, our children's future. And it was not a tough decision to make at all.
So in the end, it was a pretty simple choice for you because you're concerned about their future and the direction South Africa is headed. Did Naomi, may I ask this question? Werner talked about that they tried to snatch WJ from you as a child. Did you cover any racism or bigotry because your girls are black when you're out with them or anything like that?
Yes. Most definitely.
We were accused of being what's it called?
Kidnappers?
Genocide.
We are committing genocide by adopting them because we are not giving them opportunity to grow up in their own culture. However, the fact is they were abandoned. So where would they have learned their culture anyway?
We were throwing milkshakes at us, coffee, spit on, you name it, we went through it. And
it's not everywhere. The area where we lived, everyone in our street was amazing, accepted our children, And the school, also where our kids were in school, was really wonderful. But then you get these selected few rotten people out there that is horrible. And Vieja's attempted kidnapping, they successfully got him away from me. And because I still had the twins with me as well, Vanna jumped in. Some Woolworths employees, that's part of the makeup team, they chased to try and catch the guy who snagged Vieja. And then eventually Vieja was found in a closet, and his carrier, not the stroller, that red carrier thing, he was still an infant, was left behind. And 2 people were caught out of the... And we were told that they were offered 2,000 Rand to snag a white child with blue eyes for Muti. So Muti is... What's Muti?
The witch doctor.
It's witchcraft stuff. So I didn't even realize this was a thing. I'm sorry, this is news to me. I've been all over Southern Africa, lived down there for many, many years, and I didn't realize that. I know that albinos are in grave risk of this because they do this all the time, but I didn't know that people would snatch white children to carve them up for witchcraft. That's sick.
Well, that was what they told the police. The people that was caught, we didn't know about that either. But yeah, people do stuff.
That's just, that's crazy.
That's one of the things that we brought up to show past persecution. But we've had a few tougher situations, which I will share with you privately at a stage, but it's not something that I want online.
That's fine.
Just yet. I'm still dealing with it, and that's why this SA Women Support Group has been amazing. Just talking and being able to get it out. But I was attacked, and I was specifically told I should go back where I came from, and which is, I grew up in South Africa. My adoptive parents grew up in South Africa. Their parents did. I mean, my grandmother's 99 and she's been in South Africa her whole life. So it's nonsense to tell me I have to go back somewhere. I mean, we were shown away from a hospital because they said that, and we had medical aid, that the doctor refused to treat me because he said that white people don't understand real pain. If I want to understand real pain, it should be with them. It should be in their culture and grew up how they grew up. And it's, you have no idea how I grew up.
Yeah, I'm not shocked by that. The only thing so far I'm shocked about is the Muti thing. I mean, I had no idea that was something. I know that happens, but I didn't know it was happening to white children. So there's a few things here. Let me just address them in chat. Vesper Lynn just said, Colonel, we're willing to do an interview. I'll email you. We flew with this family to the USA. So somebody was on the flight with you. So let's talk about that. The flight you came over on, how many refugees came over on that flight?
38.
I think we were 38.
No, I think we were 38.
Okay.
We went first to that center, what happened on the 16th of December. So we went to that building. And then after that, everyone climbed in a bus, went to the airport. It was very safe. And the whole time there was a chaperone with us from South Africa, to New York, then to Washington.
And in New York, someone else met with us and our whole team, all of us that was on the flight, and took us so that everyone could get their connecting flights to their next locations. And every few hours, they would stop, give us water, give us food, more water, more food, and eventually we're like, okay, we ate enough. Wait. And every time we just give my children more water, they just need to go to the loo more.
That's a problem. In means out eventually.
Yes.
So, but the whole time, I mean, they met us. So we had one flight from New York to Washington. Then from Washington, that was a rush. Oh my word. We had to take an Airbus and a normal bus
And our flight was late.
Yes, so we ran through the airport, and you just see the refugee officers running like this, and it's like, come, and then someone falls in behind us. So we run 7 people in a row, refugee, Werner, 2 children, myself, another child, another refugee officer chasing, holding the next flight for us. And then finally we flew to South Carolina. The 2 people met us at the airport with 2 vehicles and took us to the hotel. When we got to the hotel, there was other South Africans meeting and greeting with us. And then we got to our hotel room. I actually made a video for the family. I'll share it with you, where there was so much food. They thought of everything. When we got to the hotel room, there was toothbrushes, there was lady sanitation stuff, there toothpaste, hair clips, hair bands, toilet paper, you name it. Everything was there. The fridge was stocked with frozen chicken, beef, you name it, fresh vegetables, even fresh salad. That was amazing. And some snacks, lots of snacks.
Yeah.
I just hid it away. Children, no more snacks. You've had enough.
The sugar rush was just too much.
Yeah, in the morning when we woke up, the hotel where they placed us had breakfast, and so we were there for a few days. The day after we arrived at 2:00, we met with our caseworker. And so important thing, it's not necessary in every state, but in South Carolina, so you have your refugee support group, your caseworker, they assist with the schooling, housing placement, and your first medicals. And yes, all South Africans, you're coming here to have more medicals.
And more injections. You do have the right to decline COVID vaccination, because I know that's a big concern for a lot of South Africans. You can say no to that vaccination. But there's a lot of vaccinations you have to do again, but they explain everything. And it's a decent medical center we went to. So then they support you for 90 days. Then we also meet with the EE group. Economic empowerment.
Economic empowerment. And they assist with further support for additional 8 months, over and above the first 3 months, that ensure that your food allowance, you don't get cash. Right now, they give it to you on gift cards. They ensure to arrange that if you don't have your own transportation or there isn't public transportation available, they arrange to get you to and from appointments after your first 3 months with the refugee program. And then also, all of them work out a budget with you, a target plan, your goals, your family goals, to assist to get you focused and to build a future for yourself. And they don't just dump you and make it work. Nothing like that. They've been with us every week. We've done budget meetings, planning meetings, and it's quick and fast. Really, it's not a waste of time. And listen and go with it. It's really wonderful. They brought school stationery for the children, bags for the children, and not like in South Africa, you don't need a lot of stationery, really. Our kids don't carry around a lot of books. They literally have 2 notebooks, South African Hardeband boeken. They have 2 of those books, and 4 pencils and a packet of markers. And headsets.
Yeah.
Because the school provide iPad or whatever. Laptops.
So when will the kids start school? Around the 10th of January or something?
Around about the 8th. We must just first go in. Van and I made a boo-boo on the application, which we need to sort out. We're so used in South Africa, it's Afrikaans, English, Zulu, of course. So when we tick, it's always Afrikaans for everyone. So instead of that, we ticked white for the whole family, and Ella and Emma's not white. So we just need to fix that.
So it's a minor thing.
So we'll pretty much just sort that out. And then the school bus routes start the day after, I think the 10th, they're going to start using the school bus. That's already arranged as well. And with support for Emma. I mean, also with studies. Van and I can go to local colleges to study. It's just incredible. The language classes that they offer for the kids, sporting, everything is just here, and it's at the tip of our fingers, and everything works. It's online, and everyone are nice.
And everyone wants to help you. Everyone wants to make you successful, and wants that you proceed and that you become the best what you can. And that's what I love about you and the Americans, and they're so warm and accepting. And that's, I think for any South African, you'll feel once you're through the gates here, you'll feel actually at home for the first time. You can breathe, you can do whatever you want without looking over your shoulder, without saying, oh, I'm not allowed to say that or this. Yeah, you're free. It's just, I bought a bra that I can be really free because I want to bribe with wood.
So guys,
not coal or gas.
Gotcha. So guys, if, you've offered to come up here. If we can make this happen next week or so, if that's possible, I will pay for your accommodation up here overnight when you come up here. All right, I'll make that.
Oh.
That's awesome.
I want to meet you guys. I want to meet your family. This is awesome. Unfortunately, I can't come all the way down to South Carolina. That's not feasible for me right now. But if you guys are able to come out here, I'll foot the bill for your accommodation when you're up here that night. So that'll be because it's a long drive up here, and you're going to need to stay overnight. We'll do that if you're able to do it. So I think that'll be pretty cool. I think people will be excited about it. They'll be excited to us to meet in person. I think a lot of people are going to find that fascinating. So you apparently had some pretty good refugee assistance officers and refugee assistants, it sounds like.
Yes,
definitely.
Can you tell us the organization so we can promote them for doing a good job?
Yeah.
You can.
You don't know.
I don't know. I'm good with faces, not names.
I'm going to quickly grab the file. Just hold on.
Yeah. My wife's the better one with names. I'm just yelling.
Well, I mean, we if there's agencies that help, we want people to know about that so they know that what to expect when they get there. If we have people that aren't helping, we try to let them know about that. But I don't try to bust those organizations out publicly. I try to deal with them privately and say, hey, you're failing. Could you step up to the plate and help these people? Because
I would definitely say the South African Women's Organization, but Naomi will say who they are. They definitely they must, when you come to South Africa, when you come to America
or Canada,
they your number one priority to get in touch with.
So they are SAWITU.
Okay.
SAWITU. And to find them, even if there's anyone listening that want to help support others in South Africa, this is the helpline for all of us. And I'll send you the email address. I don't know if you can put it in the link.
So I'm a little confused. Sorry, Naomi. Is this the group of South Africans that are independently, voluntarily helping people, or is this your refugee assistance agency?
No, that is that's an independent volunteer group. So our agency who's assisting us this side is World Relief Program.
World Relief. Okay, that's okay. Yeah. Great. Well, it's great that I did not know early on that there were South Africans helping South Africans in America, regardless of the refugee program. This existed prior to that. I was unaware of that because I don't know a lot of South Africans in the United States. Most of them tend to be here and there, not always in big clumps and clusters. But they've proven to be quite helpful for folks, and I've been recently linked into them. Lily linked me up with those guys. So thank you for sharing that. We'll let people know about that. And then B Nova just typed it in the chat here, the acronym. So guys, What's been the most frustrating thing for you? I mean, was it? It sounds like you had communication not quite throughout, but at regular intervals. It may have been nerve-wracking, but was that frustrating, or what part of the process? Because I mean, nothing. It wasn't all smooth. I mean, I would have been like 3 days. You want me to go now? Okay, I'm going. But this is kind of sudden. What frustrations, Werner? Did you have any frustrations in the process?
In the beginning, when you listen to a lot of all the WhatsApp groups you're on, and they say you get your first email, then you expect they'll phone you within that day or the next day. With us, it was 7 to 9 weeks after the email. And we like, just that I put the right email address, was my telephone number right, correct. And when they phoned, it was Kenya who phoned. And I just said, you know how happy I am just to hear your voice. Because I was going. And people, you know what, you must just have patience. Just it's a big program, and there's only a handful of people working on it. But they are working 24/7. So South Africans must learn to have patience. That's one thing that we learned. But
Wasn't easy.
it wasn't easy. Yeah. But we went through it, and we are here now. We're in America, and we're so grateful and happy, and we pray every day to say thank you. For our safety, for my kids' safety, for my wife's safety. But it's
little nerve-wracking.
You got to pray a lot.
So I am going to ask you this question. You guys were watching my program, but were you watching the times I told people to stay out of the WhatsApp groups? Do not go in the WhatsApp groups. Do not go to Facebook, because it's full of cockbrotters who will tell you bullshit or tell you their version of a story, and all you will do is raise your anxiety level. People, please listen to me. Would you agree with that recommendation?
Yes,
absolutely,
definitely.
I stayed off the WhatsApp groups, and we were one of the people in the beginning to do all the preparation. I'm one of the crazy preparing people. Everything must be in place. And one thing that the Homeland Security during our interview, they actually laughed because I offered our South African criminal record check. They laughed and they said, "You want me to rely on this?" And I'm like, "Well, it's a clean record." They're like, "Yeah, but you have to pay to get your criminal record checked."
Yeah.
Well, remember at the very beginning of this, there was this whole discussion about we got to get a police clearance. I'm like, for what? You think we're going to trust the government of the country that people have to flee from to give us accurate and legitimate information about people? Come on. I mean, that doesn't mean we won't check the police records, but that just means that they won't be trusted very highly.
Yeah.
But the research that they did, they knew everything. Honestly, the questions that Homeland Security asked, they pointed out stuff on our social media because we've been tagged in. We were part of the World Choir Games. We were one of the sponsors. And it was brought up in our interview of photographs that we had with, what's his name?
The Minister of Sports and Arts and Culture that
he passed away now
in
France, in Paris.
I forgot his name.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So that was brought up in the interview. In the interview was stuff from our past, like things that was posted on social media that we were tagged in and barely can remember. And when we were mentioned in a thank you speech by the presidential family a few years ago in South Africa as well, that was brought up in the interview. It's like, how do you guys know this? So from the moment that that they pick up your state of interest or whatever, they start doing research and they continue doing
until
research.
You fly out.
Still
24/7, they do
They
it.
keep on checking.
Yeah.
They check what's going on, and we must be, all of us should be more careful on what we do on social media, what we say, how we say things. And we need to be a bit more quiet and listen more, and listen to Chris Wyatt.
Well, I'm not going to say I told you so, but I told you so. I mean, I told people I'm a professional investigator. I'm a counterintelligence agent. I've done these background investigations for the exact same sort of depth and even deeper than they're doing, you guys. And I caution people about this. I said, it takes time. And I've also told you, when you go to be interviewed, they know who you are. They know who you are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They knew everything. Really. It astonished me. And also the way that they test you, it sounds silly, but it feels like investigation technique, that when you go into the room, the chair here is pulled out. And I don't like to sit with my back towards a door. So I went to sit on the pulled out chair, which was not with my back against the door. And then he's like, why did you go and sit there? Sit there. And I'm like, that chair was pulled out. It's the way that they do things, that they see your reaction, they see how you handle yourself, and they separated Van and myself. They never interviewed the kids alone, not once, but they separated myself and Van and asked us questions. And then we go back to a room, and then later they call us again and ask us basically the same questions, but just in a different way.
Yeah.
So the important thing is, you don't have to remember if you don't lie. Understand? Just be honest.
What did I also say from the beginning? Just tell the truth. Because you can't remember your lies. I mean, especially when you've been interviewed 19 times, you're going to trip up if you lie to people. No one should lie. If you have a legitimate reason for coming, there's no reason to lie. The truth will come out, and you'll be granted. By the way, Redbeard gives you wings. Redbeard, I guess that's like Red Bull, said that also at the World Choir Championships there, and our little community choir won a silver. Well, congratulations to Redbeard.
Yes.
Yeah. No, but again, my head's starting to swell here. I don't mean to tell you I told you so, but I told you so. Oh my goodness. Lower that hand there. So guys, okay, so the waiting is a little frustrating. I get that. And especially feel for the people who put an email in for PRM back in February or March or April, or they also did the statement of interest back in May when it came out, listening to me. I mean, I was at Wimpy at OR Tambo when I found out about that morning, flying back to Cape Town, and I actually did a video from the airport. And I'm like walking around trying to get the Wi-Fi just enough so I could get the darn video loaded before I had to go through security. The good news is I had the Discovery business lane, so I got to skip the queue. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to load that video. But so some people have done that, and they've been waiting months and months and months, and some have not heard anything. That's a little disheartening. But again, I will caution anybody that's listening to the program right now, if you did the PRM email and or the statement of interest, and you've not done the intake questionnaire that's been up since the 4th of November, you're not going anywhere. Please listen to me very clearly. There's over 1,100 people listening right now. If you have not done the intake questionnaire since the 4th of November, that applies to everybody that hasn't been interviewed. You're not coming over. You must do the intake questionnaire. Oh, by the way, I want to throw a little shout out here because it was Hendo who took the initiative to put together a rough outline of questions that could be asked of you, which he sent to me. I was reticent to share that because I wasn't trying to game the system, but I was just giving my experience. And you guys used that checklist, and you said it was very valuable.
Yeah,
Yes.
No, it definitely helped. And it also prepared us how to answer all the questions or what will come our way, and that you can just know what they will ask, and it's just good preparation work.
One thing, everyone, whoever has tattoos, make sure you have a list of tattoos, what it means, when you got it, and why. That was quite a thing for a lot of people. That I don't have tattoos, but for a lot of people, there was a lot of questions about their tattoos.
So I'm guessing that they're curious about my MS-13 tats.
It's there, but
yeah. No, look, there's a reason they asked that, because tattoos are often used to express extremist views, like criminal gangs, like in the Cape Flats, but also like neo-Nazi things like that. So tattoos, you got to explain. If you are If you are a certain South African lock who's really tall and likes to have a mohawk and has a Viking tattoo on their foot, you're going to have to explain that. Is that a Viking or a Nazi, my friend, Mr. Schneeman? Which is that?
Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah, and someone just mentioned prison tats. Yeah, that's crazy. The checklist is put available in our WhatsApp groups many times. And if you're in the group, you can we can put it up again. I'll have Hendo put it up. I just moved it off my desktop. I had 187 gigabytes of data sitting on my desktop screen. I had to move that last night, trying to clean up my computer, and that was one of the documents. But I know where it's at. It's in an alternate drive here. So, guys. Here we are. I think I know the answer to this question. I suspect everybody does know the answer to this question. Naomi, are you glad you made the decision to seek the refugee program, and are you happy having done it? And do you have any regrets?
No regrets, not at all. Happy we did it, and very happy that we were granted the opportunity. It's really opportunity, and people should take it seriously and listen what your case officers say. And as soon as you arrive, advice is as soon as possible, go and do application for your social security number and keep it safe. You don't share that with anyone else. And then make sure you get your I-94 form that you get from your case officer once you are here. And nice thing, you don't have to inform everyone when you change your postal details. Just inform the postal service. It actually works.
Yeah, they work.
And you guys came through Newark. I advised people in a conversation the other day with a different refugee who came through there that if you can keep a South African bank account open, I'd advise you do that, especially if you have a credit card, because places like Newark won't accept cash. And if you get stuck there because of the snow, like some people would have been stuck this week with flights canceled, say you're a refugee and you flew in and then the snow hit as you're landing, you're not going anywhere because they preemptively canceled 400 flights from Newark. Now you're in an airport with no cash. And if you have cash, it's rand. You can change your rand, but you're not going to have any cash. And it doesn't matter because if you do have cash, because that airport will not accept cash. You have to use a credit card to buy food. Can you imagine have 3 or 4 kids in tow and you can't buy water or food for these kids for a day and a half? So you guys don't sever all your ties to South Africa. You're still South Africans. Keep that in mind. So you didn't spend a lot of time in Newark, though, did you?
About 9 hours.
9 hours.
Oh, okay. Well, then you're going to want a credit card. Did you get something to eat there or what?
The case officers, they provided everything. Every 2.5 hours, we got more sandwiches.
Wow.
1 fresh fruit and water. And then I think we were the last family that they would ever give sweets to children. We warned them.
Okay.
So
well, I will next time I fly into Newark or Atlanta, I will trail the South African refugees. They all know who I am, so I'll fit in fine. And when they ask me who I am, I'll just say, "Ek is Koos Delray, die Leon van de West-Transvaal."
Van der Merwe.
Yeah, and then I'll get free sandwiches. I'll get free sandwiches for hours on end. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. But
then from there, what we did in South Africa, that was a question a lot of people have asked us about getting money out of the country. We have a FNB Global Bank account, and then we also opened a Standard Bank SWIFT account. Now, the Standard Bank SWIFT account has proven to be the best option. And make sure that your OPTs comes via email, not via WhatsApp or SMS, because once you're in international area, you won't be able to receive your OPTs.
No.
Yeah. So Andres Muller just said not accepting cash against U.S. law. You are correct that a dollar is legal tender and must be accepted by all merchants. But the Newark airport has been getting away with it, and I don't know what to say other than it's reality. You can call a cop, but it's not going to change the fact that you can't buy food. Trust me. I don't like using credit cards at airports if I can avoid it because of scammers and things like that. But I use it if I have to. But I couldn't use cash that day, and I was not happy about that when I was stuck in Newark on a way. Forget where I was going. So, all right, let's see. What have we missed, guys, here? We covered quite a bit. Before you answer that, there was a question here. Someone asked me about their case. You don't have a blue button. All you have is a gray button. If you just have a gray button, you're talking about the intake questionnaire. If you've never got a screen that says submitted, And if you get a screen that says submitted, take a snap real quick of your screen so you've got it, or do a screen capture, whatever you do to get something off your screen, because you're not going to get an email, to my knowledge. So if you haven't gotten that, then you haven't completed. Go back and request a new link to go back in, because the links are time sensitive, and go and complete it. You might have timed out because it's been open too long. And I mean, that's all I can tell you. I've never filled the questionnaire out. I just know how it's supposed to work. Anyway, so what have we missed, guys? We had the kids on. I think we shocked the world with a couple that has a partner in the marriage that has a safe passport, a golden passport to get out of South Africa, but you still got to come to America as refugees. And then also you have kids who happen to be black, and they came over, which also disproves the fake media and lies about South Africa. Also, not to focus this, but you weren't exactly living from Sasa Grant to Sasa Grant when you came over. So we dispelled that rumor as well, that people of means also are interested in this program, and you for the exact same reasons anyone else would. The safety, the threat, the peril to your lives. And Naomi, you look like you're adjusting quite well to the States. Someone said you sound like an American earlier.
I lived in the States in 2004 to 2006. I lived in Massachusetts, in Boston, when I was au pair in the United States, and I studied here and went back to South Africa, but never thought that we would ever immigrate or move here. That was never thought till earlier this year when Banner came to me and he's like, "Sky, look at the sky, look." And that was your video. And he started sharing your videos with me all the time. And I'm like, I'm not getting involved. I'm not doing this. I'm comfortable. I'm not safe, but I'm comfortable. And when we get here, everyone, when you get here, you're going to work. Your priority is to find employment. You are not here to just sit back and get free money. It doesn't work like that. When you get here, be responsible, find employment, and it's not embarrassment to do any type of job. I've applied for employment already at Walmart and Starbucks, and no one looks down on you at all. It's been wonderful. And I waited a few tables. The other day at Five Guys. Really?
Wow.
Yeah. And what's amazing is we get ID'd every time we go and buy liquor.
What's this say again? When you buy liquor, what? Oh, you carded?
Yes.
Yes, because I went and bought wine and they wanted to see my ID.
Well, I've been carded a few times, so but not very much anymore.
And any South Africans, if you're smokers, I was a smoker. Best time to quit is when you arrive, because we are quite full of nonsense with what cigarettes taste like, majority of us. So when you get here, don't waste your time and energy. Buy $11 packet of cigarettes. Just drop it. Go through the first 8 days, because then you still have airplane shock and cultural shock and all of that. Then just deal with cigarette shock the same time and stop. So I've been a non-smoker since the 9th of December.
That's a common situation. I've talked to many of the refugees I've interviewed who given up smoking. Some haven't, but it's a very expensive habit. When I was a kid, over 65% of adults smoked in this country, if not more. And today, that figure is of Americans, not of adults, but 16%. So that's I think it's much lower. Yeah. So, wow, it's pretty crazy. Okay, so Werner, Christmas is over. How was Christmas for the kids? Were you able to get them some gifts this year?
Well, for one support group, the South African Women's Support Group, they drove 4 hours just to deliver presents for our kids. And it was awesome, because what happened in November is the twins, it was their birthday, and I told them, there's a big chance we're going to America, so I can't buy you anything here now in South Africa, because we can't take it with. And this was the first Christmas here, and the tree was full of presents. We got a tree, and it's just the support that all the press that the ladies brought. It was awesome. And their eyes when they came down the 25th to see all the stuff and they opened, it was just amazing. It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was wow. And someone dropped off ham, and we made pumpkin pie, and we drank eggnog.
Yes.
The children drank non-alcoholic eggnog, which
I hope so. I don't know if you saw this, but there's a video circulating in South Africa of these adults letting 6 and 8 year olds drink alcohol. I hope the kids had non-alcoholic eggnog. My goodness, that's crazy. No, it sounds like the support groups out there is doing a lot of great stuff. I've kind of linked up with them now. We've had a few refugee families, I'd say less than 10%, thankfully, that are running into some problems in Buffalo, New York, and Rochester, New York, out in California, Modesto, and places like that. It seems to be on the coast, but not exclusively that. But no, it's fantastic. So I've got to let the audience know that that you guys had never contacted me prior to a couple days ago, at least that I'm aware of. And then was it yesterday? In fact, I got a phone call. I'm like, I thought it was Janet Liddy. So I answered the phone. I'm like, hello, who's this? They kind of cold called me, man. I thought there's an insurance salesman. They're from Outsurance, or something like that.
We had to try. I thought, okay, I got your number. Was one of your...
don't tell people how you got my number. Stop right there.
I got your number somewhere. And I just thought, let's try. Let's see what happens. If you answer, if he doesn't, you have to try.
It's more to help other people that said they don't stand a chance because they have adopted children. They don't know the children's history. They don't stand a chance because one of them has Irish or whatever passport. And people started asking so much questions about it. And then Vanna actually kind of got a bit frustrated because people said, well, it's not fair. We are but we are South Africans. We are farmers. The program's not just for you. It's for all of us. And it's a fair program. The program's really fair.
Well, and that was the point I've been making all along. From the very beginning, I've made the statement very clear. I said on February 7th, I hope it's for ethnic minorities. And by that, I meant racial minorities, not just, but I said there are many people being discriminated against in South Africa, and it's unfair, and they should. And then on the 10th of February, the embassy listed racial minorities, Afrikaners and racial minorities. And so I've said all along, this is not a program for farmers. This is not a program for Afrikaners. I know that the administration is saying they're prioritizing Afrikaners, but the numbers don't play out that way. The numbers play out. They may be prioritizing white folks. You might be able to make that argument because most people have been white, but not exclusively. And I said all along that people who qualify for this would be able to come over. And I'm so glad that you guys contacted me, cold called me, and that, when you called me, I'm like, I'm going to ask him tomorrow because I don't want him to change your mind. So I went ahead and got you guys off for today so we could do this because we've refuted the nonsense about the whole process, particularly as you just recapped it. You have a spouse that has a safe passport and you still got to come over. You have children who are black and you still got to come over. You're not desperately Sasagran poor and you still got to come over. You're not farmers and you got to come over. And, so, I mean, it just kind of destroys the whole narrative that the media and the politicians in South Africa have been running with for 10 months. So here we go. Yeah. There we go.
Yes.
But you know what do you know what the next thing will be, Naomi? You know what they're going to say next? Oh, it's just a one-off. They only let this family over so they can make this argument. You watch.
Yeah, they always find a reason. Is there anyone in the comments that has specific questions for us?
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a good point. I hadn't done that. I've tried to bring up the questions that went, but let's do that now, folks. I don't watch the NFL anymore, so I'm not missing anything. So if you got a question for the Stolze family, folks, just go ahead and give it to us very quickly, and I'll address it here. Kathleen says, when do you know you're going? Well, in their case, they knew 3 days before they left, so it changes. See, that's the other thing. My last refugees head on here said, listen, everybody's case is different. Your case is very different than most cases, but not exclusively. When they raided the Woodmead Center on the 16th of December on Geloftedag, there was an interracial couple there. There was an Indian family there. Yep. So everyone's the question was, there any farmers in the flight? I don't know. Do you know if anybody in your flight was a farmer? Did you get a chance to chat and ask anybody?
We did, and yes, there was Not they didn't own a farm, but they worked on a farm.
Yeah, and the rest were all businessmen,
Yeah.
businesses, and all different variety.
There was a large variety of people.
Yeah, it's a
One
mishmash.
thing- mishmash. And a lot of the people especially bought extra warm clothes, paid for extra luggage. Absolutely unnecessary. If you're coming from South Africa, you're coming to this cold, well, where we are is not that cold, but whatever you bring from South Africa is not good enough. Just when you arrive, go to a Salvation Army shop, or South Carolina, you have Miracles. Other places, what's it?
It's a thrift shop.
Thrift shops. Go to thrift shops.
Well, and wait till spring when people start having yard sales again. You'll get some real bargains at yard sales.
Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Well, and I don't know if you have flea markets down there, but flea markets are another good option there. I used to do flea markets when I was a kid. I used to sell stuff all the time. So let me get the questions. The Transvaal Republic says this is going to suck for CNN, BBC, The View, and the New York Times. They'll just ignore it. They'll just ignore it. This won't even make the news. And they'll probably call me an influencer again. Anyway, everyone looks nice in maroon. Yeah, we didn't even color coordinate this. We're all wearing maroon. That worked out pretty well. Did they ask? Oh, yes, you're in South Carolina. Did you ask to go there, or did you have any say? Did you tell them where you wanted to go, or this is just where you wound up?
No, they just sent us here. But now that we are here, we actually know why. Because when they do your background checks, they see where you'll be able to find employment or start, like we are planning to start a business again. Mm-hmm. We have to register. There's certain things we need to complete. But they placed us in an area where piano tuners are needed, piano technicians are needed. There is piano shops here, and there's universities and schools that require our services. So, and with every person that comes here who we've spoken to, were placed in specific areas and they couldn't really identify why. And then when they start looking for employment, it's like, oh, this makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's certainly the case for a lot of folks, and I've seen that. That's why I tell people to be patient. Some people, I had a family in Maryland that contacted me out of the blue. I haven't heard from them since. They'd only been there for 3 or 4 days. Someone was telling them they should move. Someone was giving them advice, telling them they should move to a state out in the Midwest, and that person would pay for them to get out there. I said, do you have a job? No. Do you have a Social Security number? No. Do you have an employment authorization document? No. Have you received any of your refugee cash assistance yet? No. Why are you going to leave where you're at? Well, because we heard it's better there. Yeah, I heard that, that elephants like to cut down trees, but that isn't germane to your situation. And then they added the element saying that, and our parents will be coming over here to join us in a couple months. I'm like, so your elderly parents are going to come over. You're going to abandon the place you're in, go across the country on the recommendation of someone you don't know, without a Social Security number, without an employment authorization document. Why don't you just, give it a little bit of time, get your benefits, your entitlements, and if you want to move, then you can move. You can go anywhere you want. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Don't just
stick it out.
Stick it out. At least wait till everything is settled. Try and stick it out for a year before you start moving around.
Well, that's a reasonable recommendation, but I mean, people are desperate. I'm not going to tell them a year. I know some people live in really bad circumstances in a couple of cities, so I'm not going to tell them a year. But certainly get those things done. You are nothing in this country without a Social Security number. As a refugee, you have to have the employment authorization document. Otherwise, you risk getting in trouble. So several people have asked, and I haven't shared where you live in South Carolina. Do you want to share where that's at?
Close to Greenville.
Okay. Yeah, you did say rural, so I mean, I figured it wasn't in town somewhere.
Yeah, close to Greenville. Everything's basically within 20 minutes drive for us. But shops are closer. Dollar Tree
Dollar Tree.
Yeah. Is closer.
Family Dollar.
Okay. Now, I did want to say something, Werner. I did offer to pick up your combination when you come up here, but I'm going to want a slice of the equity in that business you're founding. I'm just putting that up front.
Well, you're already in the right color, so uniforms are matching. You can fit in straight up.
Well, we should mention that. Those are your business colors, are they not?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know that everybody knows that.
Yeah, so in America, we're going with burgundy or maroon as the color. In South Africa, our business color was teal. So now we're going with burgundy and very excited and continuing with the brand.
Okay. And then Peter in Utah says hello. I don't know if that means anything to you. Peter Kutsia. Is he
Hello,
somebody?
Peter.
Is he somebody that traveled with you, perhaps, or someone you know? I don't know. And then here's a very good question. So could Naomi possibly share what type of assistance you're getting for your daughter with autism? You've only been here a short time. Have you been able to get her enrolled in something, or is there some assistance? I mean, that's a very good question, actually.
Absolutely. One thing that's different here from South Africa, we have to try and find schools that can accommodate autism, which is not always easy. In South Africa, Emma didn't go to school. We tried a few schools, but it wasn't fair towards the teacher. When America, I said, I'm looking for a school for Emma. I don't want to make it unfair towards the teacher and other classmates to place a child with autism in school. And I was immediately stopped and told me, that's unacceptable, your statement. And I was quite shocked. I thought I was insulting someone. And then she's like, no, your child has as much rights as any other child to go to school. The school will provide the support. We have to be open and honest with Emma's requirements, and then they do, she does a test, they analyze, and then they work out a personal plan for Emma. So they go to classroom. During class, if Emma's feeling overwhelmed, she goes out to the quiet room. So it's adjacent to the classroom or part of the classroom. In South Africa, it would be die juffrou se stoorkamertjie, but it's not a storeroom.
Yeah.
But then Emma has quiet time, or she has individual teaching sessions, like with mathematics. Emma needs a bit more help, and then she goes out. She will go out, do those classes. If Emma cannot travel to school by herself on the school bus, or we can't drop her off to school, they send someone to our home, get with her on the bus, go to school, like full-time assistants. We don't require that because Emma will be traveling with Ella to school on the same school bus. And yeah, and further than that, also food. They, on the school application form, they ask about food allergies, literally everything, contact people who can assist. What is Emma's calming method? Do we sing? Do we speak? So they have all the information available.
That's pretty amazing. And that's, I don't understand. South African people ask, I don't want to say they're silly questions, but they ask questions which to me are like, they almost seem like crazy. Like, why would people ask, can I get my medication in America? This is the pharmaceutical capital of the planet. We produce almost all these medications. Can I get specialized care? This is the medical capital of the world, all the medical advances. And this is a country, unfortunately, where cases of autism have skyrocketed in the past 30 years. And so it's a place that knows how to deal with these things. To me, these are strange questions. I get a question from a South African who's 65 and says, will I be able to work in America? Because they just don't know. They face age discrimination. But in America, that's illegal. So I get questions like that. But when it comes to questions about healthcare and medicine and children with learning issues and disabilities, I mean, I don't want to say we set the standard, but we're certainly light years ahead of South Africa. So it always puzzles me people ask those questions. Just saying.
Yeah, they've been amazing even with the children's medication as well. We brought over 2 months medication. They already got everything prepared for the next setup. The only thing that we have not been able to get was an EpiPen because at the airport they took away our EpiPen because VA needs, for bee sting and coconut, VA needs an EpiPen, and that was confiscated before our flight in South Africa. So that is one thing we must still get this side, but we'll get it sorted soon. Yeah. Luckily, it's winter. There's no bees right now.
But that's I don't want to say fascinating. I didn't know that they confiscated EpiPens. I thought EpiPens were allowed for people. I mean, that's a life-saving measure. I'm guessing all the planes must have an EpiPen on the flight for flight attendants in case they have to respond to it. Because, I mean, if someone's on a plane, if you have a nut allergy, it's very possible you could mistakenly eat nuts on a plane because other people eat them. I didn't know they took those. That's interesting. It's not something I have to deal with, so it's good to know that. Thank you for sharing that.
You have to have a script with you. I didn't have the original.
Oh, okay. If you have,
it must be the original, not a photocopy.
Got you. If you have the prescription, you're okay. Okay, that's why. Okay, that's good to clarify that for people. So have the prescription with you. Also, don't rebottle your pills in other bottles. It has to be in the real prescription. Some people try to do that.
Don't pre-pack because this scheme in South Africa does blister. They blister your medication. Do not do that.
Yeah.
It must be
original packaging with original scripts.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kathy Price asked a question here, which, Kathy, you're asking about laptops, whether they had them or not. I don't know. But the bottom line is you never put valuables in your check luggage. Never put a laptop. You'll never see it again. You will never see it again because they all get x-rayed and there's thieves. The world's got thieves. So you need to carry your valuables on you. That includes laptops. They must be carried on your carry-on or your personal items. So make sure you carry that. I'm getting a few questions here about what order you received emails and all that. I don't know if that's particularly helpful. I think people need to go back to the beginning and listen to the timeline. At the very beginning of this broadcast, after I did the German introduction, because the Stolze family. After I did that, Naomi went through the timeline of when she was contacted, what happened, all the events. So please go back to that. And then people ask about the unabridged birth certificates again. This one drives me nuts. I don't know.
American long birth certificates, you don't need it in the beginning. During our 4-year application, we didn't need it. But we were told that when we get to green card, we will need that. So the unabridged birth certificate just shows you are child of Piet and Sunny Geyer. So that is important, not for your application process now. While you're in South Africa, try and get it, but it's not a necessity for your application now. And then just back to the laptops, don't bring all your cables. It's unnecessary weight. What you do is you just bring this part, leave the one that has your wall plug behind. And then when you get to South Africa, go to your closest Walmart. They have these, they have these amazing adapters that you use immediately. So leave the heavy parts behind because South African plugs are very small. I'm being sarcastic.
Yes, you're definitely being sarcastic. South African plugs can be used as deadly weapons, as opposed to like UK plugs can also be used as a deadly weapon. US are much smaller, so no, you are definitely being sarcastic there. That's pretty funny though. No, that's actually good advice. I hadn't thought about that. I mean, one of the reasons I no longer carry a 19-inch laptop is because it was making me walk like Quasimodo because the thing was so big. And the power back was like 1.5 kilos by itself, So now I'm down to like a 17 or 16 inch one. I really downsized a few years ago. Daniel Callahan's asking a question. Daniel, they were on the program. You must have tuned in late. Were you able to get all your kids over? He says your black kids. Yes, they were. We've talked about that. You must have tuned in late. TSA new laws are available to watch. Please check this out. No lithium batteries in check-in luggage. Well, that's not new. That's old, Helena. That's been going on for years. Ever since the Air Florida flight in which the plane crashed because a lithium battery exploded in the cargo hold. You can never put them in there. But some people have been foolish enough to take their batteries out and put their laptops in their checked baggage, which theoretically you could do, but that's not a good idea. Carry them with you. All right. Yes, somebody said South African plugs are worse than Lego. When you step on it. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, the thing I hate about South Africa and Southern Africa is that not only do you plug it in, it's the same in the UK, you have to flip a switch in order for the damn outlet to work. The main doesn't work unless you flip a switch.
Yeah, you see it down for the first time.
Yeah.
There's no switches.
Yeah, you just plug it in.
Since we arrived.
Yeah, but that's something that you actually... Okay.
All right, I think we've exhausted most of the questions. Helena is new to flying. Yeah, okay, Helena. Well, then you can ask your questions again in our other chats. That's fine. I understand that not everybody flies. That's one thing I said, when Thea van Straten, who was the first did you guys watch the interview I did with Thea? The first
Yes.
one? Okay. Did she seem nervous? She was pretty nervous, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah,
Very nervous.
She was. It was quite a whirlwind experience for her, and she didn't even know that the guy was stalking her. If she'd known that, she really would have been freaking out. But when I talked to Thea, we talked, and she's like, she'd never been on an escalator before. I'm like, what? You got to remember that not everybody has the same experiences some of us have in life, and so I realized a lot of people haven't flown, and even South Africans have flown. Most have never had the experience of flying for 15 to 17 hours, which is an experience in and of itself. If you've done it as many times as I have, which is about 400 times. It doesn't get any better with time.
And whoever is coming over, don't go and waste money by buying neck pillows, buying headsets. It's all provided in the airplane.
Yeah,
Don't waste your money with that.
That's wasted energy, wasted space, and wasted weight you got to carry around. And people are asking, how do you charge your smartphones? Guys, obviously you haven't flown recently. Every airplane built for the last 20 years has USB connections inside the plane. Yes. So you just plug your cord into there. Now, the thing is, they charge incredibly slowly. So if you don't have a full charge when you get on the plane, you're going to plug it in straight away. But I mean, you can have a 17-hour flight, and if your battery's down to 10%, you're not going to get a full charge, most likely. So you can do that. Also, carry a power bank on your person. Just carry a power bank and recharge your phone. There you go. That's easy. Power banks are that'll do the trick.
And very important, laptops must be easy packed, because through every airport check, you need to remove your laptop. Some of them, they did ask us to start up our laptops. So make sure that you pack wisely, not like us, laptops in different bags. It was a mess. So be prepared with that.
So Paula Thomas is asking a question more for me, I believe. It's saying, one single applicant born in South Africa with an EU passport as well, will they not allow me in? You're going to have to try to see if they let you in and go through the process. It's very possible they could. I don't know the circumstances there in your case, and I don't want you to share them in the chat. It's possible they may let you come. It's also possible I'd say, well, then why don't you just go to Ireland or to Portugal? You've got a passport. Why don't you go there? We don't know. If nothing ventured, nothing gained. Absolutely. I mean, if Werner had continued reading those stupid WhatsApp groups, these guys wouldn't even be here. Thankfully, Naomi got control of the situation and took over and told him to just listen to Dr. Chris. It'll all be all right. Anyway, guys, maybe we should wrap it up here. Unless I'm going to give you the floor here in a second. And Werner, I'd like you to start. Anything you'd like to share with people about this, about the process, about your reception. Actually, before we do that, there was one question I do want to get to. Sorry, then we'll go to the final. Someone asked, did you have any haters in America? Because a few people said they've run into a few people who were mean to them, especially a couple black people in Texas that like, what are you doing here? Get out of here. You're a foreigner. Have you run into any of that in America?
Just the guy at the car dealership.
Yeah, but he's a shyster. Did I tell you?
Yeah. Just him. Further than that, no, not at all. Everyone has been incredible. The one thing
and warm and
so our children in South Carolina, the area where we live, majority people carry firearms, and immediately when Via and Emma saw that, they were kind of afraid. They're like, should we be afraid? Is there robbers in the area? So things like that. And Ella's like, no, we're in America. There's nothing like that. We are safe. And then Via asked again, but then why are you carrying it? And he's like, why are you wearing a shirt? And Via's like, because I can. And the guy carrying the firearm, because I can. So that was quite impressive. And then Emma continued asking questions, and she's like, but it's unnecessary, it's a waste, because Emma overanalyzed stuff. And then he's like, well, mountain lions. And I'm like, oh, thank you. My children started sleeping on day 4 in America. Now you have to tell them there's mountain lions. We have to get through that every sound. So we're getting through the mountain lion thing because we're in a rural area. So we have lots of trees. We have a beautiful view. And people around us, everyone cycle. I'm going to learn how to ride a bicycle. I got a bicycle with a
little...
what do you call it? Basket on it. I'm going to go to town and buy milk.
Well, there you go. Let me get one more question here before I get your final thoughts. So Wills is asking if kids complete a grade in South Africa, do they start the next grade in USA? It depends. It depends when you arrive. If you arrive in April, if you arrive in September, it depends. And also, if your child is put into the same grade that they were in South Africa, don't freak out. Don't forget, it's not an insult to your child. They're going to test your child and see where their skills are at, and they're going to put them in the appropriate place based on their age. I started school at the age of 4 and graduated when I was, 17. So that's unusual. Most kids start at late 5 or almost 6 in the States. Some even a little bit older than that, just because of circumstances. But my birthday is Christmas Day, and I would have had to wait a full additional year and really becoming late, so they let me join early. So don't look at it this way. it will take a little bit of time for kids to understand the vernacular, understand American English, get acclimated, get accustomed to being in America. So if your kid repeats a grade, that's just time for them to get their feet on the ground and get established. And that's actually in their favor. And if they happen to be a high schooler and they're an athlete, that's one more year of physical development. They're going to outperform all their peers. So think about that one. Maybe a scholarship will be coming your way for your kid playing tennis or your kid in gymnastics or something like that. So don't worry about that. Okay, guys. Werner, final thoughts and we'll wrap it up. Tell us about your experience and anything you want to share.
I would actually just give advice to people who's put their names in for the statement and they're waiting call and they're getting like super anxious because nobody's phoning them. It's just, you know what? It's in God's hands. You can't. There's a reason why everything has its own time, its own. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So just be patient. Go on with your daily life. Go to work, live on, enjoy what you have. And then when the phone comes or when they phone, then take the next step. And when you're waiting after medicals, I know there's a few of my friends who's the same with us. It's after medicals and they haven't had the phone call yet.
Or approval letter.
Yet. They just see it. They're just getting your place ready where you have to move to, your house, your apartment, wherever they're going to put you. So they're looking for the best place to put you and your family in. So just be patient. That's all I want to say. Yeah.
Naomi?
Bring rooibos here.
Oh yeah, Red Bush. Rooibos. I've got that part.
One thing that was just strange for me is where we are at. They don't have duvet inners and duvet covers. They do, what do you call it? Throw-overs. That was a bit different. And cleaning products, make contact with the South African support team to find out what's the right chemical products, because to go here to a Pick and Pay equivalent is more like going to Macro. You go in there and you get lost. Everything's there. And and don't overspend. Don't buy a lot of stuff to bring here. Buy here.
No, save money.
Save money, yeah.
Not so bad.
And listen to Chris.
Well, thanks for that. I appreciate that endorsement. No, it's great. And guys, I want to thank you for contacting me, coming on so quickly, and also offering to come up here. I mean, I don't think my audience realizes they offered to drive up here for me to interview them in person. I'm like, well, guys, come on, let's just do it over Zoom. You don't have to drive. It's a long drive. But now I'm excited. I've invited them up here, and if they're able to come up in the coming days, and we should have a good time. We'll do another live stream, and we'll do it on the mobile network, so we're not having the trouble I'm having at home with my internet. But don't worry, if this was a little bouncy, this interview, don't sweat it. I'm going to edit the first portion, last portion out, and upload it as a separate thing on the channel so you can watch it without the jerkiness that you might have seen because of my internet provider today. Anyway, guys, bye donkey. I really appreciate you coming on. It's a real pleasure. And also, Werner, it was neat to have this kind of distant connection through the Kanaba choir, or the Kanaba, not choir, through the Kanaba piano factory. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah. Anyway, so... Thanks, guys. I'm going to wish you a happy new year, and hopefully I'll see you before then. If you're able to get up here, we'll chat about it. But we're in touch now, so we'll do that. And I'm going to do this. I do this with some of the refugees. I'm going to offer this again, aside from this coming week, if you're able to come up here or not. But down the road, a couple months down the road, after the kids are in school, I want to hear about how school's going for them and how things are going with you guys. So we'll do an update if you want to do that, okay?
Yes, definitely.
All right.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry, go, Naomi, you're saying?
I just want to say thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes, thank you.
Well, thank you so much for the courage to come on air. Not everybody has the courage. A lot of people are fearful, and I appreciate you guys doing that. So, again, Happy New Year. I'll let you drop off. I'll wrap up, and then we'll get on to our Cafe Clutch, which we do on Sundays.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. That's the Stolze family in Greenville, South Carolina, or thereabouts. Let me help them get into the... There they go. Okay, they found their way out. So thank you all for tuning in. I hope you found this to be useful and helpful. What's going on here? That thing doesn't want to play nice. And that was an incredible interview. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't learn anything, you weren't paying attention, you weren't listening. We've just broken the mold on all the lies about the program, about it only being for farmers, only for Afrikaners, only for whites, and that if you have a foreign passport, you can't come over. I've always said that they don't break families up. If you have a qualified family member who meets the standards in South Africa to be removed as a refugee to the United States, then the other family members will come. Now, if you've got a strange situation with you have half stepchildren and children you've adopted, you got to make sure all that legal stuff's straight. Otherwise, it's not going to happen, okay? All right, guys. Original car dealer was wrong. Yeah, he was definitely wrong. But, I mean, people do that to everybody, not just foreign nationals. Anyway, thanks, guys. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done it already. Well, listen, Chris, we do believe. Okay, well, thank you, Thelma van Jaarsveld. Cool beans. And as Lili van der Plas says, and I'll give her credit for this, trust the process. All right, God bless, folks. We'll see you guys hopefully shortly on the Cafe Clutch, and hopefully my internet will improve. And that's going to do it for this session. God bless. Take care of yourselves. Be safe out there, okay? And thanks a lot. Bye-bye.